Friday. This is a really interesting session. We've got a lot of people talking about omni-channel marketing, especially, and customer experience. So I think this will be relevant to like most, if not all, businesses. So this is really great. We've got Gail Kerman from Prima Digital talking us through it today. And I guess as usual, any questions, queries, put them in the chat box below, the Q&A box, or the comment section on Facebook and LinkedIn. And yeah, I guess, it's a great chance to get your questions answered by Gail. We love having her on. So yeah, hopefully, you get something out of this. And, as always, please let us know if you have any thoughts or questions. And over to you, Gail, that you take over.
Thank you so much for such a warm welcoming, and welcome everyone. Every time when we got a session with the digital books, I got very excited, as there are a lot of things to share, a lot of things that we haven't covered yet, but some of the things that, quite trendy at the moment. So one of the things that I really want to dive deeper into today is the customer journey and the customer relationship and all the things that we do for the client, but at the same time we're keeping our marketing in the business high profitable, right? So there's a certain things that and the certain strategies that we're going to dive deeper into today. So let me share my screen. So I like to keep it super casual. So if we'll have some dialogue, if we'll be debating some of the stuff that we are discussing today, that's better, because I don't like just me talking all the time. Maybe if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask, and we're gonna cover all of the things about omni-channel marketing. So maybe first question for you guys: have you ever heard about omni-channel marketing approach in the past? And if you have, what type of the first impression that comes up for you? Is it a lot of things to cover? Is it a lot of like channels? Or are you gonna be multitasking? Or what is this something that comes up when you're thinking about omnichannel? So one of the things that I really want us to dive deeper again today is more about customer experience and how to simplify the whole customer journey for the client, starting from even the website, starting from the ads, starting from the very first touch point that we have with our clients. And before we jump straight into that, let me just quickly run through the strategy and introduce myself, and then we can go from there. Basically, I really want us to understand what's the omni-channel marketing even mean, right? So what's the difference between omni-channel marketing and multi-channel marketing? So how to start implementing those strategies with the omni-channels marketing? So whatever there will be, using more social media channels, or is it more about alignment with your message across all different channels? And another thing is the customer journey that we're obviously integrating, and how it will be all coming together with customer journey and omnichannel marketing, and obviously ways to scale, because the whole purpose of the omnichannel marketing is to help your company scale, to help your company boost the revenue, to help your businesses to understand your customer better from the inside out, from their perspective. Understand that, and obviously once you start diving deeper into the customer journey, into the customer experience, then you will know your target audience really well. You know your ideal client's profile really well. So all you need to do is just to put the right message across all of these channels and just keep it going, right? So that's the whole purpose of it. And your objective today will be to create the plan of omni-channel marketing. I'm not sure if this screen can be moved. So before we jump straight into that, let me just quickly introduce myself. My name is Gail Kerman. I run a Prima Digital marketing agency. I've been in the industry for a number of years now, more than 8. First started with Facebook ads, and for me, there's been a big shift when I saw shifting from a PR to digital marketing is how we can easily track the effectiveness of digital advertisement, even like Facebook ads. So if you're going to put $1,000 on Facebook ads, you will see how much it brought you the revenue and how much value it brought to the company. Where in PR, sometimes we don't really see that. We can't really measure the trust, or we can't really measure the your impact to the society or something like that. So for me, there was a big shift. And about 8 years ago, I shifted from PR to digital marketing completely. I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, medium-sized businesses, mostly service providers, SaaS companies, and e-commerce businesses. We've got a client overseas. We work with B2B sector, with B2C. So it's been a lot of great use cases. So we've seen some of the good examples of implementation of omnichannel marketing. And yeah, can't wait to share with you those strategies. So first of all, there's a one simple kind of rule for when it comes to omnichannel marketing. It's the simplicity, right? And as long as your offering, as long as your website, and as long as your customer journey is simple enough, then probably it's kind of simplifies the whole entire strategy of omnichannel. Even it seems like complicated, but in a nutshell, it's very simple. So one of the things to keep in mind is ask yourself, maybe is the whole journey is the whole customer journey on my website, on the things that I'm offering in my proposal with B2B, I think it could be like your meetings and stuff. Is it simple enough for people to, first of all, understand what it is that I'm doing, understand what are the key benefits of my product or my service? And it's just the whole feeling of be easy to deal with this type of businesses, right? So you understand what I mean. So when it comes to this index that exists, 64% of customers are willing to pay more if the product is simple. They got a simple experience. Why everyone loves Amazon is because in most of the time, probably not New Zealand case, but in most other countries, Amazon is like a next day delivery, or it's so easy for you to go and do the checkout. So in order to do that, you're going to remember about some simple things like 3 clicks, for example, golden 3 clicks. That's what we called marketers. So on your website, it shouldn't take you more than 3 clicks for the person to make an action on your website, whatever there will be a purchase, whatever they are, the B2B lead, they are leaving their details to be contacted by you, or it could be just simple, the information that they're trying to find on your website. So ask yourself, is it maybe measure even how many clicks it takes for your customers to get the information that they want, or to get in touch with you in a simple way. Cool. Is it clear so far? Yeah, don't forget about your questions in a chat box below. So one of the things that we're going to cover today is the multi-channel, omni-channel marketing. What does it mean for us is when we have multi-channel marketing, it's about that all channels will be available for the customer, but they are not, doesn't mean that they're integrated. So by meaning, for example, you can have your physical store, you can have your social media channels, you can have your phone, but imagine that every single department of your business, they are not integrated, they're not kind of having one common strategy to promote the business. They're probably not that familiar with the main benefits of the products there. So for example, the receptionist that's answering the call, they're probably not talking about the key benefits or the key things that they need to put their attention on. we saw those cases in a B2B business. For example, if you're selling some sort of solutions and your salesperson starts with some different types of solutions, right? So it's not something that you kind of all agreed on. So we're going to start, for example, you're going to start your conversation with the lead about why, or about what's your company, or we're giving the company's overview. So if you have those things that you would agree, not like a sales pitch, but most of like a structure, like your pitch deck, right? To your pitch to the client. And if it's all aligned across all of these channels, then it will be omnichannel marketing. So when all the channels are available to the customer, and if they are all connected, if they all have the same kind of, for example, let's take no limit example. And if it comes to no limit, it's very simple to see the strategy about price match. Remember the price match, that the promotion that they have, or still have it? So, and they nicely put it on their stores, on the physical stores. There was a big label saying price match, price match. When you go to on their website, the first thing you'll see the price match, and they will be like the message about something like show us the price from your competitors, and then we will make it like the exactly the same price, so we'll sell you by this price. On their mobile phones as well, so they probably got a mobile version of their website, same message. On social media, they got a brand new entire campaign about it, right? So when you see that, then it's kind of makes sense for you to cover those campaigns. And especially one of the great examples about it is when you're launching your Facebook ads campaign, or when you're launching your, like any sorts of campaign. Say, for example, you now want to tell everyone that your autumn collection is 20% off, right? And when you're talking about it, you're going to use all of these channels to send this message, to be clear about this message across all the channels. So on the store, people quite easily can find it, and they know that you have a 20% discount. On the website, it's also very clear what it is something that you're selling, what it is something that you're offering at the moment. So they all know, because we've seen, again, that that's a real case when we saw the example of companies running the ad, and on the ads, they saying that they got a free delivery, no matter how much they're like buying stuff for how many, like how much the purchase value is. They got a free delivery for everyone, but on the checkout, there wasn't being set up, obviously, or on the website, it wasn't even being told that this is the free delivery to everyone, every purchase that you make. On social media, there was no clue about it. So that's something to keep in mind, that when you are trying to send this message across, you will send it to the every channel that you are offering. Another thing about omni-channel marketing is the content repurposing. And have you heard about content repurposing in the past? So it's when you have a certain piece of content that you can repurpose to other channels. So for example, Instagram Reels, it's one of the trendy things at the moment, right? So people, what I saw personally, the great examples of how the same message can be, used in the same way, but knowing the platform really well. So if you have something, you posted something on Instagram Reels and you're using the trendy music, it probably will give you a bit of boost if you'll be using the trendy music. And the same type of message, but with the different tone of voice, with the different filming style being used on TikTok, for example. And then it's kind of the same message, but it's got a different views, because it's the different audiences that follows this brand. And then they also used this short video to Pinterest, which was kind of unpredictable, because it was something that was out of box, right? Because we oftentimes will forget about Pinterest, but we got to remember that Pinterest is one of the top, platforms where people go and find some inspiration for, especially in the fashion, if you're in the fashion industry, or if you're in interior design, or some of those industries. And they did that, and they did it really well. And that's kind of, for me personally, example of the good repurposing strategy. So that way, people, like a different type of audiences, see the content, but they see it also the same type of message, but they see it on their platforms that aligns with the style of this platform. So yeah, I hope that it's not very complicated. I'm not trying to add more stuff onto your plate and really telling you that you need to be multi-purposing or adding more into your plate. But no, but it's more like taking it more wisely. We got a question, Sip?
Yeah, I just want to add, just for like the users, like a big question we get is a lot of our users or businesses don't have too much time. And I think what you just said of repurposing is so valuable because you've already spent the time making the content. So, I think that's a question we get quite a lot. So if you are one of those people, definitely think, if you've already made content somewhere, how can you repurpose it or test on other places? But yeah, and also, yeah, this is a really great slide. So definitely, it's very clear. So definitely take note of it, everyone. But yeah, that's just all.
With repurposing, it's also one of the great examples. Have we covered, maybe in some other sessions, other speakers covered the Meta Business Suite? That's one of the popular plays at the moment. You want to schedule your content, especially on Facebook and Instagram. And one of the things that I personally find a bit tricky is with the IG Reels again. But with the IG Reels, I would prefer to do it from my phone, from my drafts, where you save in there. And soon, I hope they will be available very soon in New Zealand, is that you will be able to, those reels that you posting on Instagram, they will be automatically posted on Facebook. So we're all waiting for this update.
Yeah.
Hopefully it will be available soon.
Yeah.
But that's so many great things. I would personally encourage you to make your own research on how and find your way for your business in particular, how you would repurpose your content in a more way that would work for you, and it wouldn't be a lot of work, a lot of headache for you, for your business. So also, just a quick type of scheme to show you that Omnichannel, again, is the combination between those channels like email marketing, social media, advertisement, print, public relations. I'm not even talking about here about the same style, the same message, the same tone of voice. And obviously sometimes when we launch in something, or we're in a rush on doing things on Google or on Facebook, we sometimes forget about what type of tone of voice that we're using. Is it aligned with our brand strategy? Is it aligned with our brand voice? And is it even aligned with our vision, right? And one thing to keep in mind is if your message will be very clear enough, and if your message will be across all of these channels, it will be easier for people to make assumption of your business, or to make some, they will know, they will study your business, right? So here's the truth. So all of your potential customers, existing customers, some people who already taken your product or taken your services, they've studied your brand before they will make an action, or they made an action already. So they would usually, in most of the times, they will come to the website. They will also find some reviews. They will be trying to find and check your Google My Business profile, because one of the things that you gotta keep remembering is to keep adding those reviews and encourage people to leave the review on a Google business profile, because that's why Google will recognize your business, and your ranking will be In theory, it will be higher because a lot of people put in their reviews on your profile, and it will create more trust for Google also to show your ranking, and will be ranking. It will going to benefit your ranking. Obviously, the public relation is also a key component here. So I guess the key tip here is to making sure that your message and your key benefits of your product or services are well presented on each of those channels. If we're talking, for example, about email marketing, it's also quite worth remembering the fact that when you're setting up your auto trigger emails, and maybe put it in chat who's using auto trigger emails and what type of platforms you're using for email marketing. One of the things to remember is when you are creating your welcome series, very first emails that people are getting when they're signing up on your email list on your website, what are the first thing that they will receive? That's your first impression. That's your chance to show people your why and share your key benefits of the product, share your approach, share your key type of, the points of difference and value proposition, stuff like that. So that way it will be really clear on what to expect from the brand. So if you're doing it and really honing into those strategies for the email marketing, it's already one tick to cover, because you're doing a great job with that, meaning that people will get the clear understanding on who you are as a business and what it is something that you do better than your competition. Cool. So let's move on to the next thing that we call, and we really, really, love working on this exercises with the customer journey. So one of the things to remember is the touch points, right? Before they will make an action, there should be at least, we're saying like 5 to 7 touch points, and people need to hear a few things in the same way, in the same time, just to kind of remember about the brand, and you got to remind them for their remarketing campaigns what's really important. So for example, I want you to maybe make a screenshot, or you'll get those slides, also to outline and map out every single stage of the customer journey that you have in your business. So for example, in awareness stage, you want to make sure you're going to ask yourself how people will know about me. Is it okay? It must be the first and very simple word of mouth. Okay, are we doing enough of that? Are we, maybe it's time for us to start looking into the affiliate marketing, or is it something that we can, implement today and then get our customers, our loyal customers, been talking about us, right? So what they will benefit by us sending them some nice presents, or they will benefit by taking the points, or what will be the key things to encourage them to talk about you, right? Next thing could be social media. That's your social media, like organic strategies, some stuff that you put on your social media channels. But relying just on social media, it's probably not the best approach nowadays, because most of the times social media is like limiting our reach. And when you add in on top of social media marketing, you will add paid media advertisement, such as Facebook ads or Google ads or LinkedIn ads or TikTok ads, which is quite like growing really fast at the moment. Then obviously you're increasing your chances to be visible and to expand your reach to the right people. So and that could also go into the awareness stage, the paid advertisement. Then let's maybe remember about the SEO strategy. So how good is the SEO on your website, and what are the things that you can implement today on your SEO? So that way, long term, because the SEO usually takes about like 4 to 6 months to see the first results. What it is something that you can do now to see some of the results for the organic growth, organic strategy in 4 or 6 months. Is it like adding more backlinks to your site? Is it adding the right keywords on your page and stuff like that? So that will be your awareness stage. On the engagement, and here's what's really important on the engagement stage, making sure that you are interacting with your audience. You know exactly what they're looking for. You provide them a simple solution, something that they can easily, they just make the decision accordingly and really quickly turn from just a follower to the client. And obviously, engagement is also quite important to keep the customer service on a great level. So to also give more in what's expected, right? And then get your clients to subscribe to your email database. It's one of the things that you're going to do from your website as well. And that way, if you have a website, if you have an email database, some people do really forget about talking to these people through the emails. And if you have a database, even 100 people, don't ignore the email marketing, because the email marketing, that's the cost efficient, really cool strategy to use for your business. And as you probably know already, it's Tuesday, 10 a.m. That's the best time to send an email. So if you will take a challenge and you'll be super consistent with that, and then you'll be sending an email on a weekly basis, like 1 email a week, it's not going to hurt anyone. So people will be like waiting for your email. So in ideal world, to send them a weekly email, and that way they will know exactly what's happening in a company, what it is, something that you're offering, what are the news, what are the updates. So you keep them posted and you keep them also engaged, and maybe they can take part on your new website, like a new product launch, or you'll be asking which color is better for this particular bottle that I'm selling, or I don't know, like to get them somehow involved. And then on the conversion stage, obviously, it's really important to the checkout process if you're running a Shopify store, or if there is a like deal, or if you have a B2B business, it's like a proposal that you are sending to the client, and how to make sure that you close this deal. And you're going to get them excited about working with you together. So maybe on some meetings, on some interactions with the clients, you will be providing them a very clear understanding on your process, on your approach, on the reports that you'll be sending to the client, and get them very excited about new upcoming opportunities for the business. Because in the end of the day, it's if there's a service business, you're going to be focusing on the transformation side of the client, so of their business. So it's very important to talk about it and to list it somehow, to put up together like a strategy and stuff. And on an ascent level, it's more about how I can bring this client to the next level, how I can upsell, how I can bring more results. Or if you're finishing like working with the client and you want to provide even more to their business, you can come up with the new offerings for them. And in most of the times, if they see a good traction from your services, from your products, they're probably more likely to say yes. And then if the client is happy, we obviously happy too. So we will get them to talk about our service. As again, affiliate marketing comes perfectly on the stage, loyalty program. All of these things will going to benefit your business. So let's think about, maybe in the beginning, that's the mindset shift that needs to happen, is if you think about every single customer you're working with, they would potentially in the future will become your biggest advocates, because you help them grow and they will help you grow as well. So if you'll be working on a loyalty system, and you will make sure that the whole journey with the client, as simple as possible, as smooth as possible, then it's going to benefit your business long term. And obviously promotion of your business again, like through this channel, through word of mouth. It's like you can also talk about, you can also imagine the customer journey with your trip. Say, for example, we're taking now air tickets from New Zealand to Europe, right? And we've got to maybe, stop over somewhere in Singapore. And we want to make sure that the whole trip, it's without any delays. We've got all the flights active and everything. So people not asking us the PCR test on each of these, station. There was no like bureaucracy and complicity with that. We just free, we just enjoying the ride, and we got to the point B where we wanted to be, right? So that's the whole entire customer journey that you would, if you will outline it for your business, like step by step, I'm sure you will see a lot of things, a lot of gaps sometimes for you to fix that, or some of the things that you can optimize and do better in your business today. And why it's very important is because the omni-channel not comes down to the critical, like two criticals. It's much more than that. It's again, making sure that it's easy for your customer. You've got unified message across all customers, like channels, all the customer interaction, whatever there will be a call, whatever there will be a message on the chat box, or whatever there will be the message on the website or the landing page or something that you're pushing them, or the email, right? And everyone in your company knows everything about the key channels, the key benefits of your products. So from receptionists to very top and C-level market, like management, they all know what it is, something that you are, what's the company's benefits, what's the company's like vision, right? And once they know and understand all of that, they will be simple for them to sell. I'd say some of the companies like having agile approach on that, and I saw some of the good examples when company had a very good target to train all of their staff. So every single staff who works for the company could be potential like a sales person. So they know exactly, if you will ask them, what's the company vision? What's the company's like, what's the product's benefit? Or what's the something that makes your company stands from a crowd? So all of the questions they can easily answer. And then what's makes for the company in the long term is kind of going to benefit, because everyone knows what we're doing. Everyone knows what company, where the company is heading to. And it's because we talked about a lot about customer journey. With omni-channel marketing, we're going to put the customer experience first. So if the customer complains to you about that the website like loading speed is more than 3 seconds, for example, and they can't, for example, for some reason, they can't really access to some products. That's the takeaway here, is to get this into the action and provide the clear maybe instructions, or to provide a clear thing, like tips on what to do next. Because one of the examples that I personally just recently faced is when you go to the Dyson website. In Dyson, they sell in like a hair care tools, and they've got a styler. So this styler has been out of stock for 2 months now, I believe. And when I messaged the customer service asking them on when they plan to have another stock or another supply for this product, they even haven't got back to me, and now it's been like a week or so. I haven't heard back from them. So when it comes to the things like customer experience, you gotta remember about the service, about the what it is something that they're asking for, and make sure that you are kind of closing those gaps. And about data-driven approach, I think it should be another separate session for that. It's like it's such a big thing, and it's such a game changer when you're looking at your data and you are looking on your Google Analytics. If you haven't installed your Google Analytics on the website, please do so. Please do so today. It's not very hard to install it and use the Google Analytics. And you can find so many things that you can you wouldn't even imagine, so much data that you can implement for your solution like a decision making process that will be simplify your business. So with data driven, when I mean the data driven, we're gonna remember about certain things like audiences, the locations, if for example we launched a certain campaign and we launch it and we're giving ourselves like for example 2 months to run this campaign, and after 2 months for sure, like make sure that you will dive deeper into the data and you will understand what was good, what wasn't good, what was the traffic, what was the conversion rate, is it was some like a gaps that you can fix. So Google Analytics is the way, it's a go-to place if you want to make sure that you are on the right like track with the customer journey as well. Because if you have a great customer journey and it will be simplified, you know that people there is no much bounce rate on your website. You know, the bounce rate is when people come into your website and then they leaving after like 3-5 seconds. And if this percentage of people is more than 50%, then you got to question yourself and ask, what it is something on your website that I can improve today? Maybe that's the message. Maybe that's the big banner, and that's maybe annoys sometimes people. Maybe if the color scheme or the buttons or whatever there will be. Sometimes people close the website because they see the pop-up. So that's another thing to remember is, make sure that the customer journey, the customer experience is very crucial for your business. So Google Analytics, yeah, I guess the key to make the whole journey more smooth, and you will see this data, you will make your decision accordingly. When it comes to the audience, it's really important to segment the audience. And you know how on some of these email marketing tools, you can tag the audience. Say, for example, this particular client came from a Facebook ads. This particular subscriber came from a website. Here's another subscriber that came from a landing page. And you can basically segment those audience. And each of these audience, they might have their own like other customer journey. So you're gonna map out their customer journey and make sure that the message, again, across, no matter which audience it is, the message is across all of these audiences, and it's very clear for them, and you're going to lead them to the main kind of action, which is the purchase or which is the sales, right? And payment process. So it's especially for e-commerce businesses, payment process is the key. And most of us are quite, we all had good process examples and bad process examples. We have, for example, some of the American websites, when we doing the shopping, and then in the end it's automatically adds the GST or some delivery fees. That's a bit too much for New Zealand, for example. That makes the whole entire process like maybe not very user-friendly. So you got to remember about checkout. So the checkout also, some people says checkout should be also no more than 3 steps. So people fill up the details, the name, address, emails, phone number, and then they go to put the card, and they're going to click on the process the payment, and it should be all good to go. because sometimes we can see the examples where the checkout itself, it's already kind of 3 pages, and you can click next, 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 and then only after that you'll be processed with the payment. So some people don't do like this, so it's really important to simplify the process again, payment process. And also with omnichannel again, one of the key things to remember about is the personalization. When it comes to personalization, we oftentimes would think that every single person needs their like attention, and it's something specifically done for them, like a more like a customized type of solutions. But in reality, with the high volume of the clients, with the high volume of leads, we quite often forget about this. But in most of the times, we need to give them this personalization without us being overwhelmed with with creating too much work for ourselves, right? So you're going to find the balance here to make it personalized, but from their hand, not too overwhelmed for the business, for the people, for your stuff, right? So that's one of the things that you would keep remembering when you will be building your omnichannel marketing strategy. So some of the things that where to start and how to start it is when you can brainstorm your ideas to basically implement those strategies. You can also develop your action plan. You can start putting together, okay, maybe you might have your hypothesis for the business. So say, for example, in June, I'll be concentrating on mapping out my customer journey and making sure that I'm using the email. Maybe you can put something like, if I will be sending email every Tuesday, then I will boost up my engagement, and my sales from the emails will grow by 20%. So here's the hypothesis, right, for you to use in June. And in order to analyze that, you're going to be very consistent in what you're saying. So if you're saying, I'll be sending it every week, you got to do that. And then you're going to measure those results in order to track if this hypothesis was good or wasn't good, and what's results you got from this exercise. And then you're going to expand your reach. Reach and building up the audience, it should be the number one priority. That's why it's got a bigger ball in it, because expanding your reach is one of the things that you can improve by running ads, or you can also improve your reach by working on your SEO strategy, on the organic marketing. And when it comes to building your audiences, and when we mean by building the audience, sometimes it means building your email database, right? So ask yourself maybe how I can increase my email database by 50% next month, right? Maybe to run some workshop, or maybe you can share some of the guides, some PDFs that people can download, or maybe you can share some of these free sessions with the clients, like a discovery calls and stuff. So that way, all the people who booked the call, they will go automatically to your email database, and then you will keep engaging, interacting with them. So that's one of the things to keep remembering. And obviously, working on your offering is another key thing to do all the time, is making sure that your offer is simple, it's needed for your business, and it's something that you love doing personally. It's like if you heard about the Ikigai model, is something that selling something that's you like to do the most, and something that people want. So if you having those 3 type of elements, it all aligns with one message. That's really powerful to have this type of offering and this type of message in your business. So, and one of the things that you got to remember about scaling is when you have one funnel, you might have only one funnel to create the scalable growth. And if you will think about the funnel from your email marketing perspective. Auto trigger emails, those emails that you send automatically, the system sends it automatically, and maybe re-evaluate this funnel and make sure that you are putting the right message across. There is a certain user journey. You can read your user journey through this funnel, and it's very clear for people on what to do next. If, for example, one of the biggest, I think, mistakes that we see a lot is selling straight away from the email number one. You guys are like, some people do like to put as many links as possible to the email saying, we're selling that, you can get this and you can get that. So it's not very user friendly, right? So we're not proposing for the marriage from when we first see the person, right? So you're gonna create those relationships and you're gonna build a trust before you would actually sell them. I'd say selling would need to start from an email number 3 or email number 4. So in some sort of like soft selling, some maybe small purchase value first before you would sign the 10K deal, right? And I guess the foundation of all the omnichannel marketing will be data-driven approach and simplicity. So these are the two things. If you're going to remember those, the whole journey, the whole strategy will be much easier for you. So data-driven approach by Google Analytics. If you don't really, some people don't really feel comfortable using Google Analytics, and the way how to solve the situation is by having Google Data Studio report, and maybe ask the experts to create it once for you, so you will see all the data in one place and some of these metrics that you want to see. And this report is very interactive, so you can change the dates, or you can change your view and stuff. So once you create that for yourself, you can start your day with that, right? And be like, okay, what's happening with my website at the moment? Who are the ones who are visiting my page, and who's the ones who are making the action? Who are the ones who are purchasing the most, and what are their age, where they're from, like which part of the country, and things like that. So I say data-driven approach is the number one rule in omnichannel marketing. And to wrap up, I guess the main thing will be to basically put the customer first, simplify the journey, and learn how to scale it by testing it, and then by analyzing the through Google Analytics. I think we've got a few more minutes to cover questions that we have. Isn't that deep?
Oh, nice. That was really good. That was really interesting. And I encourage everyone to, go back into this. I know it's a lot of information, but it's very good to look at it from a strategic level, not just, I guess, you're testing it, but also thinking strategically, which is cool. We did get a question on social, which is, do you think it's important to set up SEO foundations before you pay for advertising?
Yes, I guess you're gonna have the really good foundation. You're gonna create it through some online presence. So how we would measure the online presence by having very clear website, very optimized. And when we're talking about mobile version, as I mentioned, it's really important to have mobile version optimized, the site speed as well, not more than 3 seconds to load the whole entire website. Even you're running some photography business or video business, there is a way to decrease the size of the images, living the same quality. There are so many tools that allow you to do that. So improve the site speed, and also make sure that your SEO is on place. So you've got at least some of the backlinks. You also have the ALT, all of these meta descriptions, everything ready. And also your social media, which also comes to the organic channels, your social media is up to date. You've got some interactions going there before you would actually run the ads. So that's really important. I'd say have some online presence before, some foundation before you would run ads. So ads, it comes like a phase number 2, because nothing could be worse than you are running the ads on Facebook or on Instagram, and people see, and most of the times people not just go to your website from the ads, but most of the times they also go to your page on Facebook. And if you're running the ads, and imagine your last post being November last year, then they probably would question about, is this company still alive, or maybe they forgot to switch off the ad or something, or especially if it's got a different promotion and different message. Even if, I'd say, here's the pro tip, like if you want to run ads, one of your posts, like one of your latest posts should be about this message. For example, if you're running again the autumn collection, like 20% off, on some of these posts, organic posts, you're telling about that you have this promotion running. So that way people not really like getting confused, because it's all very clear, it's very transparent across all the channels. So yeah, I guess before, like, spend money wisely on ads, and if the ads are not bringing you more than, you know, the ROI, like from every dollar spent, you know, if you're not bringing $3 back at least, then probably question your website, question your customer journey, or just change the approach completely, or change your digital marketing.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good. And I guess for me personally, I used to work at like a big advertising agency, like doing like search marketing, which is like cool. But we also had like departments that did like TV and did like programmatic, which is like digital, like marketing on, like, you know, publications like Stuff and NZ Herald and everything like that. And it was really valuable because sometimes people will see your ad on like the TV or on, like, I guess more likely on Stuff or something, and they might just search for you instead of clicking on you. So it's really important that you come up when people search for you as well. And otherwise you're burning money, because if people are searching for you and they can't find you and they go to your competitor, you're literally paying for your competitor to, you know.
100%. Some people really forget about remarketing campaigns. So if you imagine, like, on the first campaign, to get this client to click on your ad, to come to your website, you paid like 50 cents, for example, right? What's the average click cost per click on Google Ads, for example, for your industry. And you got this client to come to your website, and then to retain this customer, to kind of get them back to visit your website, you kind of ignoring the second part. And it doesn't make sense, because you paid already to get this client to come in the first instance, to come to your website, but you're not running a remarketing campaign. It's leaving money on the table. Like, honestly, it's one of the things that not really efficient if you're not running remarketing campaign. But for the remarketing campaign, you need to have enough volume to work with. So I think to run the Facebook ads, it should be more than 1,000 visits. It also the certain number of subscribers on the email list. You can also run some of the audiences that people forget to setting up on Facebook. Some of the audiences like email subscribers. So if you have thousands email subscribers, put them on Facebook audience, and then show them the ads through Facebook, even if they are not on, like, even they are not following you on Facebook.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And we could talk about data, third-party cookies and everything for hours, but essentially, like, if you've got someone's email, that's really valuable, not only to send them emails, but you could upload the list to sites like Facebook and Google, I think Google as well, and then you can specifically target them. And I guess for those who don't know what remarketing is, Gail, can you just quickly, like...
Yeah, it's bringing remarketing campaigns. It's when you bring in people who's been on your website. For example, this one of the audiences, You can also bring those people who are following you on social media. So that would also consider like a remarketing audience. So how you want to bring people back to your website, and we call it warm audience. So people who are already familiar with you, or they just simply follow you on Instagram or on Facebook. So they know you, and you want them to come back to the website to complete their purchase, or if they added like forgot the they got an abandoned cart. So these type of campaigns are really powerful, and these are the closing campaigns. This is the most important campaigns. If it's done right, you'll be generating much more revenue, even from compare with the cold advertisement where you're trying to get your strangers to the website. With warm audience, to do that, it will be much easier, much cheaper. So yeah, don't forget about this type of audiences. Remarketing is bringing people back to the website.
Definitely. And yeah, these people have already shown interest, so it's high value, which is great. In just of time, we've got about just a couple of minutes left, guys. So any I guess now's a good chance for any closing thoughts, anything you want to plug, how can people talk to you if they're interested in what you have to say?
Yeah, so we got to remember about, again, as I'm saying, the Google Analytics is one of the things that most people find really difficult to use, but in a nutshell, in a long term, it's one of the things that you got to prioritize for your business. Especially if you're, for example, you're trying to understand the customer journey, you're trying, even some, we've seen so many examples when people paying for Google advertisement, but their audience just solely buying, 80% of them buying through Instagram. And why they're spending all of this on Google Ads? Because they're not looking at their analytics. Most of the times they will be like, oh, it looks like it's good to have type of marketing. And we tend to think, oh, this is trendy, that's good to have, but it's not going to work for everyone. So these are the things that, quite key in marketing. And one main thing that I'd say is the keep testing. Keep testing your audience, keep testing your messaging, your ad copy. And if, for example, you've got a same type of campaign, but you want to test which of these ads works better for you, you're trying to find a golden ad, just put $5 on each ad to see which one would perform better in 1 week, and then use this copy rather than just guessing. So that's what we call being data-driven marketing.
Cool. Amazing. And I guess, that was really good. And I think I encourage you, I got a lot out of this, and I encourage everyone else to go back and watch this, take some notes, look a bit further, get in touch. Is it just your email, or can people find you on
Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram?
Yeah, correct. Cool, nice. And I guess that's. Thanks so much for joining us, and we definitely hope to see you again soon. I think that was really valuable, and I definitely like looking at it from the data perspective. And I think analytics is a big scary wall for a lot of people, but once you get over it, you unlock so much potential of I guess knowledge and data, which is really good. So thanks so much for sharing all your knowledge today, and I guess to everyone joining us on this Friday, enjoy the rest of your day and your weekend. I think it looks like it's getting sunny, which is great. So hopefully it's a nice weekend for once. I feel like it's been pretty bad weather all week, but enjoy the rest of your day. And thanks again, guys, so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. Bye.
Yeah, and we'll see you again soon, I'm sure. And we'll see the rest of you next week with Anna Mari hopefully back. But
see you. Bye.